Senate Democrats are dismissing chatter about attempts at an agreement that would guarantee former National Security Advisor John Bolton. The Hill's Morning Report, Trump trial begins with clashes, concessions. Trump says impeachment lawyers were really good. Senate Republicans muscle through rules for Trump trial. More testifies in President Trump. Donald John Trump. Rouhani says Iran will never seek nuclear weapons. Trump downplays seriousness of injuries in Iran attack after U.S. soldiers treated for concussions. Trump says Bloomberg is wasting his money on 2020 campaign. Moore's impeachment trial in exchange for former Vice President Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Sanders joins Biden atop 2020 Democratic field poll. The Hill's Morning Report, Trump trial begins with clashes, concessions. Trump says impeachment lawyers were really good. Moore's son Hunter Biden also testifying.
The idea has been floated by conservatives, who argue there should be witness reciprocity. But Democrats shot down such talk, saying Trump allies are demanding an irrelevant witness in exchange for one with first-hand knowledge of Trump's actions.
Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer. Chuck Ellis Schumer, Democratic senator, blasts draconian press restrictions during impeachment trial. Feds seek 25-year sentence for Coast Guard officer accused of targeting lawmakers. Justices Clinton, McConnell's rules like head juror colluding with the defendant to cover up a crime. Moore DNY, asked about a potential swap, argued that witnesses should have something to do with and direct knowledge of the charges against the president.
You know, we don't need to have witnesses that have nothing to do with this that are trying to distract Americans from the truth, Schumer said.
Pressed again if he would cut a deal on witnesses, Schumer added, right now we haven't heard them wanting any witnesses at all.
House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Bennett Schiff. The Hill's Morning Report, Trump trial begins with clashes, concessions. Senate Republicans muscle through rules for Trump trial. The memo, Day 1, shows conflicting narratives on impeachment. Moore D. Califf, the lead impeachment manager, called the former vice president's son irrelevant and immaterial. This isn't like some fantasy football trade. This isn't we'll offer you this, if you give us that, he told reporters.
Senator Chris Van Hollen. Chris Van Hollen impeachment trial begins with furor over rules. Fox's Bill Hemmer sees sizable viewer increase for debut in Shep Smith's former time slot. Roberts under pressure from both sides in witness fight. Moore DMD, asked about a potential deal during an interview with MSNBC, indicated he would not support a Biden for Bolton swap, calling Hunter Biden a total sideshow.
Focusing on Hunter Biden just furthers the entire scheme. Trump put forward, Van Hollen said. The Washington Post, citing unnamed sources, said there was a discussion among some Democrats about supporting such a deal, but senators quickly distanced themselves from the story. Senator Christopher Coons. Andrew Coons. What to watch for on Day 2 of Senate impeachment trial. Broad, bipartisan rebuke for proposal to pull troops from Africa. Democrats, McConnell impeachment trial rules a cover-up, national disgrace. Moore D. Dell, during an interview with CNN's New Day, said such a deal would mean trading a relevant witness who should be testifying for a witness who has nothing to do with the charges against the president. There was some mistake in reporting in another news outlet that suggested somehow I was part of a group that was trying to cut some deal. I'm not involved in a conversation like that, he said. Coons added in a tweet that the witnesses have to be relevant to the case. It isn't complicated. The president is on trial here, not anyone with the last name Biden. VP Biden and Hunter Biden are not relevant witnesses, he tweeted. The idea of a swap, instead, has largely been floated by Trump, and his allies on Capitol Hill. They say they want to call Hunter Biden to testify if Democrats are able to win over the 4 Republican senators needed to call Bolton to testify. Senator Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney. Senate Republicans muscle through rules for Trump trial. Senate blocks push to subpoena Bolton in impeachment trial. Impeachment trial begins with furor over rules. Moore Utah has said that he wants to hear from Bolton, and sends Lisa Ann Murkowski. Senate Republicans muscle through rules for Trump trial. Senate blocks push to subpoena Bolton in impeachment trial. Impeachment trial begins with furor over rules. Moore Alaska and Susan Margaret Collins. The Hill's Morning Report, Trump trial begins with clashes, concessions. Senate Republicans muscle through rules for Trump trial. Collins breaks with GOP on attempt to change impeachment rules. Resolution. Moore Maine have indicated they are open to calling witnesses, though they have not specifically said they would support calling any individual. Under the rules resolution passed by the Senate earlier Wednesday morning, senators will have an up or down vote on whether or not it will be in order to call witnesses or request additional documents.
If 51 senators vote to allow witnesses to be called, both sides would then be able to make motions on individuals, which would be voted on by the Senate.
Republicans, technically, would not need support from Democrats if they wanted to call Hunter Biden, who has emerged as a top target for Republicans because of his work on the board of a Ukrainian gas company. McConnell has 53 Republican votes and could call the younger Biden if he was able to hold together 51 members of his caucus.
Van Hollen floated that while the idea of a Bolton-Biden swap might be supported by some Republicans, the broader caucus does not want Hunter Biden to testify.
"We don't even know if something that they really want," he said. "There may be one or two Republicans that want that, but that's very different than Republicans wanting that."